have a warm welcome to BJ, I had to practice his name, otherwise known as Bernard Jauregui.
Spot on.
Spot on, there we go. Please give him a warm welcome.
Cheers, everyone. Agile Smells. And anybody, ex-developers, current developers, you get to recognize bad code, don't you? You join a project, check out a Git and go, oh, great. But really experienced developers, they really get a nose for bad code. They recognize those smells. They recognize the actual fermenting bad humors of code that's been around for a while, a badly integrated team or what have you. And so I'm working at BGSS, and that's meant I've been able to work on loads of different agile projects for loads of different types of organizations in banking and health and sporting, all sorts of things, big retail. And a lot of it, especially larger companies, they get it a bit wrong. And I think I've started to identify some agile smells, and that's what I'm going to talk about. And I went on the internet, and there's quite a bit about agile smells. They're all about Scrum, Scrum processes, Scrum leaders, and there was nothing really just about agile practices. So I thought I'd kick off with a few. Had a few conversations, and people seemed quite excited about it. There's quite a bit of feedback, so I've just chosen some of my favourites. So I'll just go with a couple, just as you walk into a project and you get some of these smells. It's very important that smells have pithy names, preferably with a little innuendo. I had to moderate these slightly, and I haven't updated my note cards, which are an excellent size for traditional agile for pinning onto your Scrum or Kanban as discussion points. And they're a great tool for retrospectives and things as well to get people talking. So I'm going to start with an easy one, failure to commit. Okay, so you go on a project and you realize that developers, they're not committing their code. Not even on a daily basis, never mind several times a day. Yeah, so got some guilty faces in the audience already. Okay, and merge is getting scary. So merging back to master, merging master back into their branch, it's getting really iffy now, and they need help, and it's taking time. Things are slowing down, so they just get even more reticent about committing, and that's a bad agile smell. So I was thinking, what are the causes of this? Okay, so for each of these pithy little points, I've looked at the causes and the symptoms, and tried to come up with some cures. So causes for fear of commitment. Fear of breaking the build, quite common. Poor team dynamics, where people are actually scared to go out there and fail. Yeah. Quite often, just not understanding the branching strategy. Git can be scary if you haven't had a bit of help to start with. And another one is they don't have any faith in the tests. All the tests kick off, and they get failing tests. Broken windows, anybody? That if the test suite isn't maintained, you get loads of fail on your Jenkins board and everything. Lots of red circles and stormy clouds. So how do you get over this? And I think that one was encourage team ceremonies that are supportive. Get people to talk about issues with the processes and automation and their Jenkins builds and things. Pair programming is a great way to give new developers confidence. And simplify your branching strategy, your commits, your merges and things with scripting. Next one, secret source. I keep seeing projects now where there's closed source modules, little knowledge silos where information is not shared. See some concerned faces. This really happens on quite big projects. And it's not just code that's closed source, but also processes, decisions made behind closed doors, that sort of thing. You've got to bring out openness to be agile. And the causes tend to be weird things like poorly written legacy code. Quite often developers are just embarrassed to share some piece of code they've been maintaining for the last 7 years. Well, it was written in Visual Basic, then converted it to Java, and it's yikes. Okay, exposed credentials and poor key management and that sort of thing. So people say, oh no, we have to keep that secret. There's mechanisms for sharing and for automating that you don't need to. I've been working on one big project where we weren't allowed to see what the Jenkins pipeline did, the CD pipeline. It was like secret. I had to write lots of very strange little applications to deploy called exposed passwords and things like that, and study those Jenkins logs to reverse engineer the pipeline, for heaven's sake. Okay, the cure, identify the root causes. It's quite a complex one, this, why people are hiding their code. And you have to respond to whatever the root causes are. There's no simple solutions after asking around. Too early deployment. I would call that premature release, but it's. I keep finding on projects people are deploying to production too early, and there's sort of broken features, experimental features, code that shouldn't actually be in live at all, and it's sort of the end user application's got all these features sort of blocked out in a bit of code. Huge security risk, especially in some of the clients I've been working in. If anyone knows where I've been working, please don't shout out any names at all. Okay. So causes. Build pipeline. Great, we're going to do CD. So straight away you build a pipeline that goes all the way to production. No, you need your CI. Okay. You need safe environments. And the biggest issue with development code or practice code, test code going out to live is that lack of environments. Insist on environments very early on the project. You need development environments, test environments, UAT environments. Then go to production, non-functional test environments. Okay, so yeah, so the cure is more environments and remove anything that holds up CI. Next one, manual intervention. Okay, I have recently worked on a pipeline, a CD pipeline with 20 manual steps. Okay. This involved things like logging to this system to get a change code, a change request code, logging to that system to get the keys, logging to that system to get authentication to log to Splunk, that sort of thing. And the root causes tend to be, well, things like not properly integrated security procedures and authentication and that sort of thing. Out-of-date processes. Quite often, Agile has been superimposed on some big enterprise delivery mechanism with lots of governance and manual processes. Technical debt in the pipeline. Get it up to date. Okay, so the cure is new ways of working. Recently been looking at DevSecOps, which has overcome loads of the manual steps in a client visit recently. So work closely with the security guys and use some of the funky tools like Vault and stuff for hiding and only giving up credentials at the right point in a pipeline when they're needed. Last one, testers in the road, perhaps the most controversial for my tester friends. This one usually happens when you're quite close to your go live and you can't actually deploy because testers are busy. And I was actually working on a project where this went on for like a week, 10 days, and a huge backlog. Then say, these guys are testing stuff, they're finding problems, you need to keep deploying to get the changes out, people. Huge backlog of technical debt caused by mostly manual testing. So I would say the cure was devs work with testers to remove the roadblocks, better environments, and better test automation. You actually have to invest in that. And there's no escape. They're just some of the ones that we came up with. Had loads more ideas. So I'm BJ at agilethinking.org. If you email smells@agilethinking.org with any ideas you have, I'll add them to the list. And then I'm going to have agilethinking.org/smells. We'll give you a nice PDF with some cards to stick on your Kanban board or Scrum board. Thank you.